I have learned that strategic partnership in organization is what makes you grow. Every business dies at a particular point. Every business becomes unlucrative. It's like you make your highest money and you need to transform that business, else you start declining.
Makes sense. I get you. One thing they need to learn, and Afrobeat has shown us, Amapiano has shown us, that the only thing that you can actually lay claim to and can make you successful will be things that are indigenous to you. Hello there. Welcome to another episode of the African Business Showcase, brought to you by Showcase African TV. This is a show where we interview innovators, entrepreneurs, and thought leaders across Africa. And today is my delight to have my friend Ijeoma on at the studio, the CEO of IGM Global Limited. But before we get into the show, I'd like you to do one thing for me. I'd like you to subscribe to our YouTube channel and follow us across all social media platforms. Do not forget to turn on notifications so that when we drop content like this, you'll be the first to know. Welcome, Ijeoma. It's great to have you on the show. Finally, after so many back and forth, and it's a delight. I'm exceptionally, excited when I bring in female entrepreneurs because there's a need for us to balance some of these things, right? And you guys have a peculiar experience when it comes to doing business, and we want to make sure that we get more ladies entrepreneurs so that we can, because we believe typically that ladies have both left brain and right brain, the creative side and the logical side, and you guys bring some good dynamics into a business system or a structure or a family, because you are natural by nature. Thank you for joining. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, so we will start like this. So you give us a brief background, an introduction about who you are and what you do. In other words, but let's take it from, let's say from maybe uni days. What did you study? What are your career experiences? Then morphing into, then we'll now talk about business. Anyways.
Wanted to read medicine, but medicine wasn't coming. Decided to go to university to study computer science. I remember my father asking me, "Is it a typist course you want to learn?" And trying to convince him wasn't making headway. So I decided to leave home to go study computer science. I remember coming out with an amazing CGP in my second year. And they offered me medicine for free. They said I could switch.
Wow.
After staying at home for 5 years looking for medicine. But as I then, I already loved computer science. I said,
interesting.
I was going to continue. I think maybe I had wonderful lecturers that made me see the future. And as I then, technology was not what it is today. So they helped me see into the future of how the world was going to change. And I was excited being at the heart of it.
Makes sense.
Not just at the heart of computer science. I was also working in Computer Village during the holidays.
Oh, wow.
So I was seeing the evolution of computers, what was going to happen. It was just amazing being at the heart of all of it. So that was what really shaped my world, where I was going. From there, I went into Analyzing PLC, where I did IT in tracking.
Okay.
I was a tracking officer for the then Red Cab. And for those that know Lagos very well, Red Cab was one of the first that started the digital taxi transformation in Nigeria. They were the one that came with the whole digital taxi that you could call the customer service center, tell them you're in Ikeja, and they send you a cab within minutes.
Yeah.
So when people say I play in the transport automation space, that is where I also started from. So after Red Cab, I worked with the likes of Z Cabs, worked with MTN on some projects, and basically before I started mine.
That's interesting. So, now that's why it's good to have some of this conversation where we're very close, and I never really We've not even spoken about your background before, and that's a very, very rich background. So for me, I know that you work in a space in tech that we can call secure tech or security technology, but we'll still go into that. But what were some of the peculiar experiences you had when you worked in career? What were the learnings? Beyond that, what were the challenges, running that kind of business? Because I know that nowadays I'm not really sure we have something like that. Again, is it like it's difficult to do and all of that?
Okay, first of all, I'll say my background started in security. My father was a police officer.
Ah,
So
okay.
my background started in security. And my first job as a tracking officer got me into security because they love to steal red cabs.
Wow.
So
Seriously.
I was doing a whole lot of recovery. I
Wow.
would shut down cabs. I would have to send the team out to go and recover. Even when I went to school, I was so efficient at my job that the day I was writing my final paper, my boss from CNI called me to resume Enugu the next day
Wow.
as a tracking officer for Coal City Cab. I
Wow.
had to leave school immediately without doing project defense or anything to take on my new role. And even while in Enugu, it was still stolen cars I was recovering. So that's the background on security.
I wanted to say they would need you in Joburg because carjacking is a major thing
high
in
there.
Johannesburg. So
Yes.
yeah.
So those were some of the things I said my earlier days in security. But something that shaped my life more was something I noticed. An incident I was privileged to experience growing up. In the barrack one night, I remember it was around 1 a.m. We had a theft incident. And I remember hearing a whistle and I woke up. And the next night, I saw my father run into the house, went under his bed, got a whistle, was blowing it. I was hearing whistle all around. The next night I had, we don't catch him.
Wow.
So they alerted each other through the whistle to tell everybody that something was happening. And they got the guy. And that shaped my concept when it came to tracking. I understood that pattern, notification, recognizing when something is happening are all steps. So those were the things I used when I was working with Red Cab to be able to shape how we recover stolen cars. In my experience, I've been in over 275 rescue operations in total.
Wow.
Yes, since Red Cab till date.
So you're an FBI. You're a CIA or an FBI person then.
I've been in this for over 16 years.
It's crazy, man.
So those things shaped my life. Partly what our challenges are. As a female, first of all, was the reluctancy for my boss to send me to the field.
Yeah.
Yes, it was a huge problem for him. But the first time they sent me, they had no choice because the theft happened in Enugu and I was in Ebonyi for Christmas.
Wow.
They couldn't send anybody from Lagos. They're like, IJ is just close to the place, let her go. And I was super excited. It was 26th of December. And I hit the road immediately. And we were able to recover that stolen vehicle. So after that, the experience.
But did you do any extra courses around this? Maybe online or
no, that's the
program?
Thing. Telematic was not a course. Like even till today, you don't get to see people say I am reading telematic. You hear cybersecurity, but telematic is ingrained in cybersecurity.
Okay.
Yes. So it was not a course. So part of me was experience, and the biggest experience for me was working with the team that deployed the Red Cab software. Because when the likes of Uber came, I understood the foundation of that technology. So when we had invites to come to Sierra Leone to help with the BRT deployment, I understood what they wanted because transport automation was something that was simple with me. That was where my foundation started. Everything rises and falls with tracking location.
Yeah.
So every other software is built
around that.
Yes,
okay.
So I understood all of that. Another big challenge we had in the industry was the certifications. You really don't know what to get yourself certified.
Yeah, because I'm wondering that what exactly do you study? Then it almost looked like you were talking about process and you talk about different cadence in it, that this comes, then this comes, though that looks more like textbook to me. Like, so maybe you're writing your textbook already based off the experience.
Yes.
Because I would have thought that maybe there's a body of knowledge that maybe like an accountant will go
No.
to do CCA and all of that. Yeah.
Later I started seeing some, but sometimes you ask yourself, why am I going to get certified on that when I'm already doing it?
Yeah.
Yes, that's another thing. The next other question you ask yourself is, am I the one building the software? So as at then, we were only selling, we're only offering it as a service. We were not thinking of building the software.
Yeah, makes sense.
So as we evolved over time, and as I evolved, I started looking at, why am I just selling only? Why am I having to buy device? Having to pay for software? Why am I not having local content?
Yeah, makes sense.
Why are we not building our own stuff? So those are some of the challenges we see. Ability to manufacture these things home here. It's a big challenge. We now have amazing software people across Africa. Building softwares, tracking software is now easier. But what about the devices? Can we manufacture them? Do we have the tools to be able to manufacture them? That's another sector I will be willing to explore very soon. But when it comes to software, we're already building the software.
Makes
we built
sense.
our first AMD software 2019 and some other things we've done. But in terms of challenges in the sector, is largely no certification. Largely people don't know about what to do. Another part is, you're a woman. I remember my first board meeting. They were analyzing who is supposed to be the CEO of the organization.
Yeah.
And I remember they just coming with it's a male-oriented leadership that this organization needs. And I was listening to my board say, and I'm a woman sitting down there.
Yeah.
I'm going, okay, because she's a woman, let's believe she can do it.
That's crazy. But because it's your company, they were actually just investors and they are probably talking about maybe a male
oriented. Yet I would still say that it's still a male oriented sector. Why? Because the behavior you will need most of the time to run a sensitive organization that has to do with securing people's assets and their loved ones is male, is masculine in nature.
I get you.
Because you have to,
that protective layer.
It's masculine in nature. You cannot tolerate certain processes not being followed. Because once you remove your eye on the ball, things are going to go wrong.
I get you clearly. So walk us through, how were you able to transition from career to entrepreneurship? Was it accidental? Was it planned? How did that happen? And at what stage did you go into that?
Okay, for me, it's how would I put it? Accidental or planned. In my journey, I became a housewife. I became a housewife, and I was highly unsatisfied. I was dismayed. That was when the whole glamour of working from home. So I left everything, and I was building a software for MTN then, in partnership with Star Trek, the RMS software, and I was excited about the idea, but it wasn't gelling. It wasn't gelling in my head, and I kept asking myself, what can I do? And I remember a prompt in my head just said, what do you know how to do? And I just said, tracking, and just go ahead and do it. Like, that's a man's job. And I entered into it. But I'll say the advantage I had was my background experience from CNI. So I've worked so close with my boss that I knew every.
And you see, that's what we talk to people that probably wants to do business, or even if you're not going to do business, you want to be great. Most of the times we don't understand the place of providence in what we're doing, that whatever it seems like you stumbled into that you didn't plan is actually preparing you for the future.
Definitely.
Because look at it now, it has come full circle. What you've done now is what you did at the early stages, which you didn't plan. You know, you had good experience. Just like I told people that if at all I regretted anything in my career, it would be the fact that maybe I had not learned more than I ought to have learned when I was building all this skill set. Because I never really know that everything will come full circle like this with what I'm doing. And most of these things were unplanned. Working here, working there, even stumbling into marketing and advertising that I'm doing now wasn't so much like I had it figured out. But I went in And that's the thing about purpose, to demystify purpose, really.
Yeah.
The concept is whatever your hand finds to do,
Do it well.
you do it with all your heart. That is how you find purpose, and that really resonates with me, with what you're saying now about, now there's a stage in your life, you were at that stage where you needed to do something and you had to go back to the past to lean in and create a new future.
Let me even make you laugh. I worked so hard during my IT. Sometimes people wonder how come I learned so much. Because at the point, my dad had to ask my boss to come to the house. He didn't understand why an IT student would be coming back from work by 11 p.m., 12 midnight, and the office car will come and drop me. My boss had to come and explain what I sleep over in the office. When you are managing new projects like Red Cab, Coal City Cabs, Pronto Cabs, Calabar, all the way from motorway, and you are managing these things, you have to be on time. These taxes have to be online. You can't afford downtime. And I was just an IT student that was excited managing this entire technology, including the server. It was an amazing experience, and I love to spend time there. My dad would complain, and my boss would go. My boss had gone to my house. Our head of admin had taken me to the house. Our head of sales had come to my house because they had to explain what. Sometimes when we have to deploy new software, my boss will carry stacks of manual and will come and meet me over at the barracks. Like, okay, go through this for this weekend because by Monday when you come. I finished my IT. I will be in school. My boss will be on his way to maybe Enugu to go and close out the contract. He will call me to join him. And when he's doing the presentation, by the time he's talking, we can do this, he will turn to me, Ijeoma, can we do this? Yes, sir.
That's interesting.
I gave my all. He would go for meetings at MTN. I will be there. I gave my all to him, so it was easier.
That was actually your schooling.
That's it.
So I tell people that there's something that is called return on knowledge, which literally when a knowledge pays back real time. Either it's technical knowledge or business knowledge or whatever it is, that I can remember those nights that I read and read and read. Even then, reading to the point where you are almost like a professor, because a professor is different from a practitioner. A professor reads and lectures, when you are not applying it like a practitioner, then you are a professor. So people call me professor. In fact, the first set of work I did post-uni, when I first did my entrepreneurship gig, because post-uni I didn't work, I just continued with business because I started business in school. Every places I work, they call me professor.
Oh, wow.
Because of the depth of knowledge I have. But of course, having experience makes it more practical, so I'm a practitioner. But either technical, non-technical, reading abstract stuff, now there's literally a reward for that in terms of financial whatever. You never knew that you were actually like doing your real practical courses for the business that you're doing now.
I never knew I was doing, what they call Igbos call this thing when you
the apprenticeship. Yeah.
I never knew it was a real apprenticeship I was doing. Sincerely, I never knew it was until I became a mother and I had to start my own business. I had to fall back to this knowledge. The first day I went to MTN for an argument. I just remember what my boss used to do. It's really
that's amazing. That's amazing. And I think the learning point for the viewers here will be about just putting your all into every stage, every place you find yourself, because actually there's something we call that where that critical mass would happen, where everything will come full circle and you will now begin to use it for your next level. So now speaking to when you set out, what were the challenges and how did you even start? After thinking that you were dissatisfied with the software thing, working from home-ish, and you said you needed to go back and you checked and it was tracking. How did you move from there?
Okay. The first off, the first challenge you always have is how to start.
Mm.
How to start. So I made up my mind that I was going to get a space. I
Mm.
was going to get something that will make me leave the house every day.
Makes sense.
Yes, I'm going to get a space.
Mm.
So I didn't have money to pay for a hub, so I decided to rent the hub.
Mm.
I just told them, I just need your space, first of all, to be able to recruit salespeople.
Mm.
I put out an interview. I put out a vacancy for salespeople, and I just used their hub. I'll never forget. It's the Innocent Chukuma Center. I
Mm.
just used their boardroom. They were not even a hub there. I just saw the place and I said, let me talk to them if they could rent their
Yeah.
boardroom. And I remember they rented it to me for 5 hours for about 6,000.
Mm.
And that was where I used to conduct the interviews. When the people were walking in there, they felt the entire building was.
Yeah.
It was nice, and that was how we started.
Mm.
And the next thing you have is, because sales are not going to flow in,
Mm.
the next challenge you're going to have is how do you pay people's salary, and that's where you need to build trust.
Mm.
You need to build trust with people. You should be able to sell a vision that is more than the money that they are bringing in.
Mm.
So that was how I learned how to sell my vision. I learned not just to talk about the business. I learned how to sell something bigger than the business. So going, what the roadmap is. But I had to go to school. I had to go back to training. So I went to ASO Leadership Academy by Austin Okere.
Okay.
Yes, I had to go learn myself. I went to Daystar Business Academy and some others just to be able to. Entrepreneurship has a mindset, and if you're not careful, you will do hustling. They call it entrepreneurship.
Yeah.
Got you. Two different things. Anybody can wake up and want to start a business. Trading is a business, but when you say you want to run a business, you want to build a business, it's different. It needs system, it needs people, it needs process. And that only comes through learning. You need to learn. You can't even copy it. You need to learn, because behind every structure, system, people, there must be a purpose behind it. There must be a process behind it. So those are the things those were the initial challenges I had. And when you put that, funding comes. Your people will be motivated to sell, and you will become attractive to those you are selling your ideas to. Then funding, you go to funding, you go revenue funding is the first any entrepreneur should look for. Now I see people starting business, and the next thing they're looking for funding, and you've not even generated money. It's cool, but it's also, that can be a deception. Yes. So revenue funding is what should be driven first. This idea is sellable. Can people pay for this idea? Are your family, friends, and fools willing to pay for this idea? So once you push that consistently, I think then you have a business to do.
That makes sense. So, so speak to the challenges that you've had to go through beyond the funding, beyond the. I presume there will be people issue. In terms of technical skill, finding capable hand. In the first instance, you are in such a peculiar industry where, number one, we don't even have a structured body of knowledge, as it were. You can only be adaptive, and apply. How are you? Have you been able to manage that?
The first thing I did was to work with people that were already in the industry. I knew the industry very well. I could coach people, work with them. That was my first strategy. Later on, I found out, because these people were going to move on, and my business had not grown enough to be able to keep them. Yes, that's one challenge you're going to find out in business. No matter how much you love people, they're going to move on, because your business takes a longer time to grow. So I had to learn to train. I had to learn to train people. Then another most difficult part in the business is, we have a big issue with people learning to comply to process, especially for a process-sensitive business. It's a very big issue. I don't know how the likes of these food businesses like Tasty Fried Chicken do. Yes, but I would love to learn, but that's a big issue. I did learn earlier on. And so we had to pay for people to come to do SOP trainings
Mm.
and put systems and structures in place. Those were some of the challenges we had. But for me, one of the biggest learnings for me when it comes to building an organization in a space that is not so people are not so aware of
Mm.
is the transitioning that has to happen. Every business dies at a particular point.
Mm.
Every business becomes unlucrative. It's
Mm.
like you make your highest money and you need to transform that business, else you start declining.
Makes sense. I get you.
Yeah. So we got to that point in tracking because we were one of the first that took the lower automobile space. By the time we've done over 15 across Africa, and we got to that point. And was just instinctive. We knew that we needed to become something else. Getting the qualified people to help us in this transition was a challenge. Getting software guys is easy, but getting tech support people that will understand a telematic software doesn't come easy.
Yeah.
Yes, I noticed that even while we were interviewing lots of computer science students, they didn't understand what telematics is. It was like a new language to many of them. Then when you put them before a telematic software, they can't comprehend it fully. So there was a lot of training and retraining that had to be done. But the transition has not been easy, but we are getting it. Amongst the challenge I have faced most especially is being a woman. Yes, people don't talk about that. But being a woman in such a tech-sensitive environment that is not software development okay, so after this meeting, I will be on my way for a field installation. I'll be changing all of this because we are going for an on-site diesel calibration.
Wow.
Yes, for a diesel dump. I have to be there.
Yeah.
So I have come to realize that I needed partnership. And I needed partnership for me to get to the next level I need to get there. I needed technical partnership. But now not technical partnership. I needed people that would be in rooms that would speak to men or speak to women and they are comfortable with them. I am too technical.
Yeah.
Yes, I have come to realize that I'm too technical. So I needed this kind of partnership. I've learned to partner with men to get me access to funds, to get me negotiation powers that I need to. Maybe because of my background also, I was failing badly at pricing.
Wow.
So I could give up to premium service at a ridiculous
rate. Yeah. Then it will match up with the expenses. I get what you're saying.
So I've learned to partner with people that can just solve that problem for me and let the money come into the organization. I also understood that I cannot be a CEO and be in the heart of operations. Though I'm a technical person, yes, I will always be in the field to help with major projects, but I need someone that will sit in as project manager to be liaising with the companies, not me.
Yeah.
So I have learned that strategic partnership in organization is what makes you grow. And for your organization to grow to the next level, it has to go out of you.
Makes sense.
So that's where I am. That's my new learning. And it has to do with a lot of humility.
I get you.
It has to do with it because you have to release certain constraints. And so that's where I am in my entrepreneurship journey.
That's interesting. So let's look at government policy. Have you been affected maybe in the past or most recently?
I'm wondering which entrepreneur would not be affected. Maybe you guys in the sales and marketing space.
Yeah.
Okay, but for us, yes. 2019, the policy on the ban of lower automobiles from applying certain routes affected us. We track cars, we track vehicles, whether it is high end, low end. So that policy, we noticed it just spread across Nigeria. It caused a reduction in the sales of lower automobiles. So big companies like MISS, there's another one, I've forgotten their name, that lease out lower automobiles in their numbers. I'll tell you that MISS does over 200 leases on a monthly basis.
Wow.
It dropped to almost 50.
Wow.
Yes, because of that policy. The
Mm.
same thing. Then, as the year proceeds, they started cutting off leases of law automobile, because if they are not applying the road, where will they
Mm.
make their money? They were struggling to pay back. So that was one. Then the second one was the NCC policy.
Mm.
We can work without SIMs. Then when you hear a government say, no sales of SIMs in 2021,
Yeah.
no sales of SIM, we need to do SIM registration. For 1 quarter, there was no MTN could not sell SIM.
Wow.
For a business like us that are using
Mm.
MTN SIMs, what do you think would happen to us?
Mm.
We had to shut market, because even when you saw SIMs outside, they will suspend it. So yes,
Wow.
sometimes I think those policies have good, they
Mm.
have good intentions, but the way they are being implemented
Mm.
can be very, very unfair to businesses.
Wow. Whew. So, in terms of, let's also look at opportunity that exists within your space. Can you speak to that? Because essentially, what we use this show to achieve is to be able to showcase different entrepreneurs playing in different spaces, so that we can also help the viewers to see some place where they can play. Because people still have this, I don't know where they got it from, that there are not so much opportunities in Africa, particularly maybe in Nigeria. Now, what is difficult to understand is that, for me, I feel that for most industry, we're still on day zero. In fact, minus zero.
We've not even
On-
scratched
that is what I'm saying. So for me, I'm using this opportunity. This is one of the most important questions, and I ask everybody on this show. We've had people in automotive space, in safety space. We have people playing in PR, how to advertising. We've had people play in financial services, and it across different countries, and so to share their perspective. And for me, this is about maybe the most important question I ask on this show. Can you lead us to about between 3 to 5 opportunity within the secure tech space, that what people can take advantage of, if you are somebody that is trying to try out new ideas, and maybe you play around this space but you've not been able to see how this plays out, then this can give them that opportunity to be able to say, hey, okay, this is a light bulb.
So I'm so glad to share this information. Across Africa, I always tell people that, for me, IGM are co-focused in Africa. And why Africa is, there's just so much untapped opportunities. Let's start from telematics. Everybody thinks all vehicles are being tracked. It's a lie. There are lots of big companies I walk into, and their fleet are not tracked. I'm talking about companies that have hundreds of trucks, vehicles, untracked. Who is the tracking company coming to talk to them? Yes, there is also an argument that, tracking companies are much. Are much where? Are they just much in Lagos? What about the ones in Ebonyi? What about the ones in Ghana? What about the ones in Tanzania? They are not much. Let's go a little bit step higher. What about fuel telematics? What about driving behavior telematics? What about AI cameras, installations? Are there more people doing this? No, we are not much. There's this new approach we've taken in our business, is that we're going to companies now and we're retaking their telematics. Because what most companies are doing are basic tracking. And right now, technology has grown above and beyond basic tracking, to the point that it can help you manage your trips, your driver's behavior, be able to score every invoice trips that you're doing, especially for those that are in 3PL partnerships for cargo. Telematics can be designed to meet your kind of need. So it's not just location-based tracking alone. That's one big opportunity that we've not taken over. Apart from vehicles, what about vessels, cargoes? We are not taking advantage of it. Apart from even movable assets, what about children, travelers, the home? There's so much opportunity in that space to be able to track people and things where they are at any point in time, and be able to give accounts for what they are being used for, or what they are doing, it's an opportunity that is still so not so utilized. Another is on the community security space. You're aware we just launched a new application called Community Shield. Yes. The reason for that launch is simple. We've noticed that while lots of people are looking at asset-based security, not much people are looking at community-based security. And community are facing a lot of violent attacks. There's just one last time that a guy was shooting openly in a community and collected somebody's chain.
Wow.
Yes. So communities, even robbery. Just here where we are, there was a robbery 2 days ago at Omofade, where they burglared someone's house and took away 5 units of AC, the plasma TV, and everything.
Wow.
Yes. So how are we stepping up to be able to provide community-based security solutions, technology solutions that help communities to stay safe away from urban communities? What about the rural communities? IDP camps are being attacked. Villages are being attacked. Are there no technology to be able to solve this problem? And that's why I'm challenging every African to begin to think how they can solve solutions in Africa. We cannot sit down and be waiting for help to come somewhere else. We need to build solutions and the solutions are not far away from us. The solutions lie within us. I told you about the whistleblowing experience. We built something for rural communities, and it was actually designed based on that experience. I watched a movie and I saw the same thing, one of these epic movies, and I saw the same thing when a community was being attacked. And I asked myself, how come we're not doing this in places like Daura and Chibok? And immediately I put things together, called my friends, we were able to design a solution for rural community emergency notification.
Wow.
We need to start building solutions that affect people's lives across Africa. That's for community. What about identity? People are hiring, there are people partnerships that is going on a lot in Africa. There are people in the diaspora trying to partner with local content in Africa. Do we have solutions that could help them verify who these businesses are or who these people are? You can see there's a gap in that space. So there is so much. I'm just talking about, this is just Nigeria. Go out of Nigeria, across Africa. Africa has how many countries, how many local government, how many communities? You can see that the opportunities are so massive. Let's us Africans start looking at ways to build content. I think the biggest challenge for Africans is that we feel we can't innovate, we can't build. We have been trained to consume what is given to us, but that's a lie. I want to use this opportunity to challenge Africans. You can build solutions from the problems you're seeing within your community. Start thinking about it. Start putting ideas together. Put a group of people. You don't have to call it a company. Bring your friends together, your classmates, your schoolmates, your churchmates. Speak about how you can build solutions. Then don't just talk about it. Be disciplined enough to come out with a solution and see it through to the first test if that solution is going to happen or not. Once you succeed in that, you've built an innovative solution.
That's very deep and very interesting. And for me, there's this advantage that I have because I learned firsthand about different industry and sector, and it broadens my perspective and horizon. And anyways, it confirms my theory why we established this platform. That's the entire Showcase Africa entity. And our vision is very simple, right? To showcase the beauties and the bounties of Africa, or art from Africa. Now, the bounties refers to the opportunity. Because one of the things I see, and I spoke with a friend yesterday, a friend and a client at the same time, and one of the things I realized, you can't believe that there's this globally known software, but one of the feedback they gave me is that they are substituting that software. They're able to convince clients, local clients, to dump that software and take on to their software. And he was saying it again, it doesn't have to market to me. He was saying it with every sense of certainty that it's because he believes that the software that they have built is more superior.
Yes.
Not in the sense that it's more superior functionally, but in terms of contextually, because it can solve
it
problem.
always is.
Yeah,
We
because local
feel the
problems,
problem,
yes.
we know the
Yeah.
problem. So we build solution that
Yeah,
is skewed to solving
yes.
that problem.
And that's where I think the opportunities and the advantages are. People are thinking about making millions or how do they break through. One thing they need to learn, and Afrobeat has shown us, Amapiano has shown us, that the only thing that you can actually lay claim to and can make you successful will be things that are indigenous to you, things that are intrinsic, things that are, like you birth from inside, you birth from your problems, not trying to necessarily, you can lean and glean on and get inspiration from things that are happening abroad, which I do that. Like you can look at it, but until you look at it from the context of the real problems that we have on ground, then we will not be able to go far. For example, it's unheard of. Maybe I'm not sure if this is happening in other developed clime, where, for example, you run a bar, a lounge, and somebody brings in his drinks. A syndicate within your staff. They bring in the drink, they bring in the POS. Do you get what I'm trying to say? And they sell drinks. Now, if you are the owner, you can sit in your lounge and just be like happy that see how people are buying stuff and all of that. And at the end of the day, when you count the money, you realize that what's happening here? Not knowing that half of the drinks that were sold that day were not from your inventory.
That's true.
They are racketing within that system. We've had instances even in media houses where advertising spots will go online, and it will pass through marketing, pass through traffic. The thing we hear, ad will hear, but the money never got to the company. So where people can build a racket system within your organization, and you might not be able to spot them. So how do you solve for things like that? If you just, all you can think of is, looking at what is happening in other climate and bring it without solving that peculiar problem, and for me, I think that is a major thing that people will need to focus on, to look for indigenous problem. Let me put it that way. Indigenous problem, things that are that's affecting them every single day, or things that you've played around. I'm always the advocate for domain expertise, and it's a concept that is always even spoken about in tech.
Yeah.
Where I don't know, except you've been through some peculiar circumstance around finance. I think that somebody that have worked in traditional financial service is better off building a fintech services, because haven't discovered the points that are not working, just like JB did with Foodwave. It's between that system, what the Money Point guys did, because they were building for banks, they built for Sterling, and they've realized that these are gaps, and they were able to build out. Imagine I was the one building it. So that's why I've learned from that to say that for my own industry, what are the pain points? There are some technologies we're building now, and it's around our own domain. And I think it's the same thing why people need to look intrinsically. They need to look inwardly and look to their immediate environment also, and find the things that they can solve for. And, from there, I believe that they will get money as a reward and everybody will be happy. So now in trying to also stretch this further, I'd like you to talk about in terms of businesses doing business in Africa together, collaboratively.
Okay, thank you for that question. First of all, I'll say Africa is a warm country. You always be welcome. That's one. You always be welcome. Secondly, I don't know why the flights are so expensive. I think that's also a deal breaker sometimes. When it's just so expensive to just move across Africa easily and do business. Across the Schengen countries, it's not the same. Across America, it's not. Why is it so for Africa? So that's one barrier I feel the government has to bring down. We should be able to move from one African country to another easily. So once that barrier is brought down, it makes doing business a little bit easier. Secondly, is the issue of trust. we are still struggling with that as a people.
Mm.
We are still struggling with that. And the issue of trust is always, it comes when it's a money matter.
Mm.
So
Yeah.
yes,
Trust is a major one.
when the money is involved. I think poverty has so slapped us in this part of the world that we are afraid to trust people.
Mm.
Nigeria is opening up to collaborations,
Mm.
but I feel most African countries are not yet there.
Mm.
So what I saw with my own experience was amazing people, amazing project. But when it came to, okay, let's get this thing done and all of that stuff, they will first of all look at you as a Nigerian.
Mm.
You know, you have the way you
I
guys
get
do
you,
your
yeah.
thing. They'll first of all look at you
Mm.
as a Nigerian. You want to come and rule them.
Mm.
I've had 2 major experiences across 2 African countries like this. And so it becomes a bit hard
Mm.
to be able to forge ahead, especially when trust is not.
Yeah.
Yes. Nigerians are very open, but unfortunately, that many a times when it comes to business collaboration is not welcomed by others. So once we can bridge transitioning from one place to another, especially if other African countries can come to Nigeria and see the way we really are, what we see is Nigerians are going to other African countries, but other African countries are not easily coming to Nigeria. So it makes it difficult for them to know us. If they were coming to Nigeria and they can easily go back and forth, the handshake, they're like, oh no, I know where he lives. I know his family. I've been there.
Then I've seen a lot of things online. Some people in SA, they say you are juju people.
Yes.
Juju, because that's what they see on African magic. You know,
we Nigerians, we travel a lot, and that has helped us to have an open mind perspective. So if the barrier on travel, that's the high cost of traveling, can come down, and Africans can go in and out of various countries, it helps the relationship to become better. That's one. Number 2, if we can learn to trust each other a little bit, especially when it comes to money. I think for us Nigerians, we need to do a lot, because I feel there was a way I didn't manage it properly. Someone once advised me, said, if you could register your own business there, that would be better than collaborating, than making a partnership with someone there. But there are still some countries across Africa that they won't allow you to register a business if you don't make their own person.
Of course, most countries, even including Nigeria.
Yes. So those challenges abound, and again, there's an issue of trust, and it just makes it harder for us to be able to partner. Technological adoption from my side is also a big challenge. I remember entering into a country. I was in the flight and someone was telling me about bringing an Uber to a particular place. After analyzing everything he's saying, I just knew, sorry, they are not technologically ready for that level. You are going to bring in your business and you're just going to have a first mover advantage, but your business will definitely, if you're not careful, go down for somebody else to bring that same technology.
At the right time, and it will work when they have gotten to that stage.
So those are some of the challenges we experience across Africa.
Very interesting. Now, the question for me is, what drives you? What's your drive? What's your life philosophy? What are you gunning for? What's driving you at the moment?
For me, I want my life to make sense. I want it to be about something bigger than me. I want to leave this world knowing that I have been able to set a pace, achieve my purpose, achieve the vision that I saw of myself and of people before I take a bow out. So I want, whatever I do, I want to be bigger than me. So when I run a business, I don't just run it for profit. I'm running it for longevity. I'm running it for transformation. I'm running it for impact. So that's it for me. It's a vision that is born in my heart and a desire to be bigger than what, because indeed there's something in you that will tell you you're more than this, and that more than this is what I want to bet out every day. That's the experience I want to put out there every day. so that when I'm ready to bow out, I would have said, Ijeoma, you did this, you impacted this, you opened this up, you had this done, well done.
So, with this, we've concluded another exciting episode of the African Business Showcase. Thank you, IJ, for coming through.
Thank you.
So we hope to have a part 2 of this sometime in the nearest future. So guys, that is it on this episode of the African Business Showcase. It's a great delight speaking with Ijeoma in the last couple of minutes, probably maybe 1 hour. So guys, before you go, please subscribe to this YouTube channel and press the like button. Number 2, subscribe and follow us across all social media platforms. We drop content every day. And also, please go to showcaseafricanonline.com. We have several interesting articles and news stories that you will find very interesting about Africa. For us at Showcase Africa TV and the Showcase Africa Expression, what we want to achieve is to bring to you, to spotlight, the beauties and the bounties in Africa. So until another episode, keep flying. Thanks.